Oh yes, this is the Hardcore Marketing Show. I'm Casey Cheshire, your host for this epic journey. Today's show is sponsored by Ringmaster, on a mission to launch B2B podcasts that create relationships, generate revenue, and drive growth. Ringmasterlive.com. Bam. And there we are. I am sending this chit chat into the cloud. I am recording. I'm excited. Today's guest is an absolute terror. He's a badass. He is ready to just take that pickaxe and mine for leads. He is the creator of leads, awareness, and traffic. He is an SEO strategist, a big picture thinker. It's all about being creative, innovative, and working with a team. Who is this guy? Well, he's won awards on the marketing front. He's actually a startup mentor at Vantage Ventures, agency marketing manager at Direct Online Marketing. Jonathan Bentz, welcome, sir.
Hey, man, how are you?
Dude, let's get after it today, right? We got that holiday spirit going on. We get the cheer. We know we got a little vacation coming around, which completely dates this episode. But that's cool. That's all good. We got to show behind the curtain sometimes, right? I'm excited to talk to you, man. So how are you?
Yeah, I'm good. We have a lot of exciting things happening at Direct Online Marketing, and as the agency marketing manager, in some cases, the size and the stage of our company, I'm not just the thinker or the puppeteer, right? You also have to be boots on the ground too. And so we're wrapping a lot of great things up, and our agency is in a great spot as we head into the new year to make things happen, not just for ourselves, but for the clients we serve also.
Hell yeah. Let me pass you this thing, because you know what time it is? It's time to make the donuts. Here it is. Okay, it's kind of heavy, but you seem like you're a tough guy. So here you go. Ugh. Okay, grab Thor's hammer. Grab it. There you go. Oh, look at backhanded grab, one-handed grab, folks. That's how you know the show's about to go off the tracks here. All right, Benz, grab Thor's hammer, smash for me some kind of marketing myth, bogus strategy, misconception, set the record straight once and for all.
All right. As B2B marketers, it is our job in most cases today to leverage the greatest information platform humanity has ever created to bring our prospects for our companies, for our clients into their space. And yet we spend so much time only telling them part of the story. So my myth that I want to smash today is that idea of hiding information, hiding the stuff people ultimately need to know and want to know to choose you. We're making it hard for them, people. Let's stop doing that in 2023. Let's make it easy for them.
Dude, that came through loud and clear. I am with you. And I'm trying to figure out, why are people playing with fog of war selected on? It's like we're playing a video game and we don't want our clients, our future customers to know anything that's going on. You know what? Yeah. That's just plain scary. Where does this come from? Why are we playing games?
Well, I think I think ultimately it comes back to a lot of what, at the root of it, right? We're all people. Even though we represent companies, people buy from people.
Yeah.
And just like our Instagram accounts and Facebook profiles and things like that, we like to have all of our best foot forward. And that doesn't necessarily mean I'm saying that businesses should be so transparent that you hear about stuff that needs to be kept at home, right? That's not what I'm here. That's not my platform today. But we, as B2B marketers, and I'm talking about us generally.
Yeah.
We get a lot of, we do a lot of look at this thing over here and don't worry about this over here.
Right.
Until you fill our form out, until you come into our pipeline, then, in a month or two, as you go down our sales cycle, then maybe we'll communicate that piece of information to you.
Yeah.
So collectively as B2B marketers, can we do a better job of giving our clients, our prospects, the information that they ultimately want to make an informed decision? Can we give that to them? And should we give that to them the same way we would expect it ourselves when we're making our purchasing decisions?
Yeah.
I think that ultimately that's where that's kind of where all of that comes from, because again, people buy from people, and I know you want to put your best foot forward on your website and on your walled gardens and social media. But ultimately for us, I think we leave a lot of opportunity on the table. And when you're not treating someone the way you want to be treated, that doesn't feel like a winning formula for success.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't feel like that at all. It feels like you're playing for second. It feels like a safe play, you know?
Yeah, absolutely.
What the hell's that all about?
I wish I knew. And, I tend to jump around a lot with my analogies. So I may use multiple analogies inside of one example, but
sure, you got another one? You got another analogy?
All the time. But the whole idea here is that, again, we all spend the majority of our time working on the biggest information platform that humanity's ever created.
Right.
And so if we're not going to be the person to step up and share some of that information that people need to know or want to know in order to make a decision, choose you,
choose me,
then they're going to find it. They're going to find it somewhere else. And if you don't control that conversation, that's the opportunity that you have, right? If you control the conversation, then you're going to be there when you're going to be top of mind for people, and you're going to be there when they're ready to, when your prospects are ready to raise their hand. They're going to have trust in you. But if they have to work extra hard or wait extra long to find out what they need to know, then if they haven't found it from somebody else, then you still made them jump through hoops. There's an analogy for you. You made them jump through hoops. Dude,
when was the last time you jumped through a hoop? Like a physical hoop?
I don't know, man. That's a good question. It might have been high school. So it would have been some time ago. Yeah, right? Right? But, anytime as consumers, thinking about it from the consumer perspective, anytime we with some of our bigger purchases that we make, it's refreshing to us when we get transparency. Well, when we come to work as B2B marketers, a lot of us are selling bigger ticket investments.
Yeah.
And we don't necessarily want to have that same amount of transparency with our prospects. But again, we expect it for us, but you don't need that. That's a tough pill to swallow.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I have swallowed pills recently.
Have you ever tried to swallow a pill without water?
I have. It was not enjoyable.
You see House do it on TV, right? He throws a little Vicodin or something, a little Oxy in there to help with his leg pain. And I've not tried that, but I did needle and aspirin one time, and it was like I could not do it. Yeah. Eventually I found some thimble of water somewhere. That's not easy, man. That's absolutely not easy.
No, I can't. No, that I'm sure I've done it usually if that happens to me, I think it happens by accident. Right? Yeah. It's not something that you intentionally try to do. It's right. It's, oh, whoops, I swallowed that. That was not fun.
That was slightly unpleasant with a aftertaste of unpleasant. One of the things I got from you, I love this. You're preaching, you're not holding anything back, just like your myth, you're putting it all out there. One of the things I heard was that when you're not giving out the data, it actually gives up. So you're not giving out data. You don't think you're giving anything, but you actually are. You're giving up control of the conversation.
Yes.
You know, like, man. And you actually want that more than you want that data. Like,
right.
If you had to pick one, do you want to be in control of the conversation and ensure there's a next one? Or do you want to hold on to your little data? It's like, well, it's pretty obvious.
One of my favorite, so this happened earlier. This happened in 2022. Okay. And I think this was a blogger, and I don't remember the exact site or the exact link, but it got my attention from another podcast. And the news story basically was that search engine optimization is dying. I've been in this profession since 2004, and I think I've heard that every single year since 2004, yet here I still am, working for an agency that specializes in search engine optimization and digital advertising. So I would say that myth, I mean, maybe a different show, right? But that myth is one that probably needs to go away also.
Got it. It's not going away. Smash that one. You can smash a couple bits. You still got the hammer.
But the idea, one of the logical reasons that the blogger had for Google dying or SEO, SEO dying, was that so many people are using Reddit as a long tail term on their searches. So, if you're looking for, and if you go through keyword tools, you'll see this. If you're looking for like a general consumer service, not necessarily applicable in B2B if you're not selling more of a commodity item, right? Website hosting, website design, things like that. Maybe you'll see some commentary on this, but you'll see search terms like lawn care services, Reddit. And instead of people going to Google, seeing the local business listings, seeing the ads, seeing the top ranking directory sites that just list other companies, they will use Reddit and read threads on Reddit about top brands in a space, top service providers. They're using Google to navigate Reddit to then go in and read reviews about who the best is, or who does a good job, or does this company do a good job. So, and that was one of the reasons that blogger had behind Google is dying, SEO is dying. That's going to happen. But again, with Reddit, one of the benefits to general users of Reddit is that it's really hard for marketers, whether you're in B2B or not, it's really hard for marketers to penetrate. And so you're going to have conversations happen there that you don't control. But on the flip side of that, if you do your job right on your website, you do your job right on your own brand, with your own branding and messaging, people probably don't need to go to Reddit to find out what you're actually doing. Like, the story is going to match.
Yeah.
But you own that conversation up front. They may not even need to go there to try to vet you, right? They may not need to take those extra steps to try to vet you because you're doing such a thorough job on your website, bringing your brand forward, bringing what you're about forward, what working with you is like. You take away that need for people to go somewhere else and then get distracted by the million other things that can happen. And if they leave, there's a chance they might come back, but more than likely you missed out on your opportunity.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's not like there's an undo button or there's a resubscribe button. Sometimes there are, but not normally, not in these relationships, not in these sales processes. Like you lost them, and maybe that was okay, but maybe you didn't need to. You just given up some more information, and then you would have kept some control, some conversation, some connection.
Yes.
The whole thing. Shifting gears a little bit. How do you know all these things? Do you have some books you've been reading? Obviously, you've been doing it for a long time. Anything you're reading? Any book recommendations?
So I am reading daily right now. I read a book called The Word Before Work. And that is by an entrepreneur named Jordan Rayner. Now, it is a book for those who follow the Christian faith. But that book for me ties some of the, so I'm in the Bible. I'm in his book daily just to kind of stay up to speed. Those tying my, as best as I can. And I'm not using this as a pulpit. Please don't take it that way. But using my,
kind of cool if you did though. See what happens.
Using my faith and tying it together to something I'm passionate about, like my work. Sometimes that's a challenge for people, right? And so for me to be able to use his training and methodology and his business success, because if you look Jordan Rayner up, he's a entrepreneur who successfully has exited companies, right? Like he's done stuff professionally and still been able to not have to compromise some of his core beliefs.
Got it.
And so how to bridge those two together, for me, I'm not an owner of a company, but for me as a business professional, trying to balance those two, that his content has been influential for me, especially over the last 18 months or so, to try to bridge that gap.
That's cool, man. You know, we need that time before work.
Yeah.
You know, whether it's faith, whether it's just a little quiet, something to just think about our thinking, to just examine things. You know, I've even thought about how, you know, sometimes the shower can be great for thinking. Well, if you're distracted listening to a podcast, you know,
true.
Interesting image, right?
Yeah.
Then you're not giving yourself a chance for that internal dialogue. Just like before work, how often do we just like open those emails and just bounce right into them and just start attacking the do's before saying like, what really do I want to get done this week or today? This month, this year, you know?
Well, and there's a couple other books too that if I'm getting the chance to talk about books, I'll mention a couple other ones too.
Hell yeah.
So,
books are allowed, my friend. I'm married to a librarian.
You are? That's awesome.
Yeah.
I'm married to a homeschool teacher. And so she's teaching 3 grades at the same time. That's a conversation for a different time.
That is what just made the Hardcore Marketing Show hardcore, because that is not an easy feat.
No.
3 different grades at the same time?
Yeah,
Moly.
Yeah, I have 3 kids and she's homeschooling all of them. And it's an adventure daily. So, but 2 other books with the soapbox that you're giving me here today. A couple other books that I'll throw in there. One would be the Secrets series by Russell Brunson. And so that would be .com secrets, expert secrets, and traffic secrets. So for anybody, I know most of us here are B2B marketers, maybe not digital marketers, but if you are in a business model where you want to elevate not just your platform, not just your website, but also then try to create a category or elevate one of your executives into that thought leader position.
Yeah.
That series of books is a great way to, there's a lot of training in there that Russell has vetted himself as he's kind of built himself a platform and build up ClickFunnels that you can take. And there's instantly applicable learnings from that.
Wow.
The last piece, and this is more of a personal development piece for me. You had mentioned just a minute or two ago there, we were talking about the whole morning routine process. My morning routine process essentially breaks down to what's called the core 4.
Okay.
And so it would be something for your body, something for your being, something for your balance, which would be your relationships and your family, and something for your business.
All right. Can we get that list again?
Yeah. So the core 4: body, being, balance, and business.
Nice.
And so now I didn't come up with that. The author of the book, Warrior Book, actually came up with that. And if you find him online, he's pretty polarizing guy, but he's real. He's raw. And the guy's name is Garrett J. White.
Okay.
And his books, for me, started the mindset shift from, not just, you can't just be one-dimensional.
Right.
And so I can't be all in on business. I can't be all in on faith. I can't be all in on health. I can't be all in on my relationships, because then you end up sacrificing. If you go all in on one, you're going to lose out on the others.
Yeah.
And so I'm not perfect about it, but I try every day to invest time, start my day with a little bit of all four of those, and then invest my time and make sure that my priorities are focused in some segment of those areas throughout the day, so that even if it's just perception, you have that, you're moving multiple things forward in the same direction at the same time.
Love that, dude. It really ties into the different parts, right? We're multidimensional.
Yes.
And I think sometimes we, even just bringing it back into marketing, sometimes we forget that not only are we like that, but our customers are too, right? Our customers are people.
Yep.
They've got the core four as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
So how can we speak to the different sides of them, not just their business dimension?
Yep. Not just that immediate pain point that you serve for them, but we're not all logical decision makers. I think there's plenty of research out there that says that we're not. We're also not 100% lizard brain decision makers either. And so
speak for yourself. I'm the king of the lizard people.
Shiny ball, take ball. Thank you. All right. So, so we're not all logical,
right?
Driven. We're not all emotional, reactive driven. And whether you're dealing with different people or not, again, just people as individually, people are not one dimensional. And so kind of going back to that whole, trying to tie this back to that whole concept of if you're leaving information off of your website, there are several areas that I commonly see people are leaving information off. But if they're leaving information off their website, again, you're missing out on that opportunity to control the conversation. When you don't control the conversation, you give other people the opportunity to join in.
Mm-hmm.
And if they join in and the conversation is about you, then you may end up losing those opportunities that we're all responsible every quarter for coveting.
Yeah. Man, Bentz, who are you, man? Who are you? Can you explain this yourself to me? Take me back in time. Like little you, right? Little Bentz running around West Virginia, little kid. Did you know you were destined for marketing?
So
for fame and fortune?
No, I didn't. So West Virginia actually didn't enter my life space until 2002 when I went to college. Yeah. So I grew up, I didn't grow up far from here. I grew up in Pennsylvania, right? Border state.
Yep.
But I grew up in Pennsylvania, Amish country, Lancaster County, Pennsylvania. I'm sure we've all heard the Weird Al Yankovic song from the 90s. I know it by heart. I won a karaoke contest. Yeah, I won a karaoke contest one time performing Amish Paradise. And it was not in Lancaster that I performed it.
Is this the part where you show us how this is done? Is that
not today? No, that's
not?
Not today.
Okay.
Different chapter in my life. But actually I grew up in Lancaster, Pennsylvania.
Real quick though, if you were to sing that and it was so good that we got like demonetized on YouTube, that would be saying something, right? That would be saying something. That would
maybe I'll do a short of it and try to sync it up with when this episode hits, and we can just drop them. We can drop them at the same time as a co-push for it.
Okay.
So anyway, so I grew up in Lancaster, Pennsylvania, Amish I was the son of a psychologist and a college professor.
Okay.
So it's a little bit on my
Wait, college professor and what?
Psychologist.
Ooh.
Yeah.
So a smart family.
Yeah, and I'm probably the dumbest one in the pair.
I think so too. But the only reason I can say that is because I'm with you. I'm right there in the passenger seat riding shotgun on the idiot train. Right there with you. But you're driving at least.
My brother has his master's and was involved in state level politics for a while. Wow. So I guarantee that if all four of us took an IQ test, I'm going to come in fourth, but that's okay. Right. But I grew up, when I went to college, so I went to college in the early 2000s, and when I originally went, I wanted to be a journalist. Well, journalism school in 2002 was not a lot of fun. So in 2004, try to fast forward this a little bit, just finished my second year at West Virginia.
Nice.
And I have a family member who is an entrepreneur in Philadelphia. And he actually had started back in the 80s. He had started doing 900 numbers. So for those of you who remember, not those 900 numbers, but the 900 numbers for the WWF, the 900 numbers for the Super Bowl, Michael Jackson's Heal the World. There was a 900 number to call in.
Wait. They had 900 numbers for WWF?
They did. The Hulk Hogan line. Yes.
Huh.
So
I didn't know that.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So, and there were also ones at the time. I mean, this is a different time. This is before the internet, right? But there were also ones for like getting updates similar to how we get updates today on our phones, push notifications.
Yeah.
So he had started this company and built it up to an 8-figure company.
Sure.
Then the internet happened, right? And so as an entrepreneur, he pivoted into digital services. It was a crazy time in the early 2000s to think that people would pay for something to get information on their mobile phone every month.
Imagine that.
Right? Yeah, imagine that, right? So at the time, so I went to intern for him in 2004.
Oh, cool.
And he gave me, it was a floppy disk, not the floppy ones from the 80s, but like the 3.5-inch cartridge.
Yeah.
He gave me a cartridge in 2004 and said, this has a book on it called the SEO book. I want you to read this. You're going to come intern for me. And who knows, maybe you'll make it a career someday.
Wow.
And 18 years later, here I am, still doing some semblance of digital marketing. I interned for his company for roughly 2 years, started cutting my teeth. I was even doing remote work. Imagine that. In 2005, 2006, I was doing remote work before it was required. And then started working for, when I came out of WVU, started working in travel and hospitality, started working for agencies a few years later, went in-house to work with a startup, a vested startup that had just taken on some capital. And then 6.5 years ago, ended up coming in-house with direct online marketing. And that's been the story up till then.
Man.
Yep. Sorry if I went off a little long on you there.
No. It's so fascinating, right? Where you can come from a small town in Pennsylvania and then wind up in a different state, or who knows where the adventure continues on to. Yeah.
And so the like I said, the entrepreneur who was running that company in Philadelphia, he's my uncle. His name's Bob Bentz.
Shout out to
Maybe
Bob.
He'll watch this. Maybe he'll watch it long enough to actually see that I mentioned him on this in the show.
Yeah. Now, Bob, if you got this far, the code word is gingerbread.
Nice.
So he needs to now, and so you need to now hit up your favorite nephew and tell him code word gingerbread for 50% off, and also so that he knows you actually listen to this episode. If you're just like, yeah, thanks, I listened to it, and you don't say gingerbread, then the game is up. We know you didn't listen to it. What do you think?
Absolutely. So challenge is on, right? I hope his kids don't listen to this too, and then are like, hey, you need to text Jonathan and tell him.
You know what? People listening to this, if you too got to this point in time, the code word is gingerbread. And you can send me or Bentz or both of us a little note on LinkedIn or something and say gingerbread, and we're going to send you something. I'm already trying to look around my office to see what I'm going to send you. I've got some energy drinks. I don't know. I'll figure it out, but 'tis the season.
I think we probably at one of our offices, at one of our direct online marketing offices, we probably have Google Premier Partner Post-it notes. So yes, DM me, find me on LinkedIn, DM me gingerbread.
Yep.
And I'll see if I can swing a few Google Partner Post-it decks and send them over to you.
Hell yeah. And maybe you'll send them some ivermectin at the same time. I just want to see if Spotify will like tag us as like a special episode in people's feeds now.
Because you said that?
Because I said that.
Yeah, no, I don't. I have no access to pharmaceuticals.
We will not be sending you, to be clear, we will not be sending you pharmaceuticals. We will be sending you household items. I'm thinking energy drink. He's thinking notepads. So it may be something else that encourages you to say hi, but we'll also wish you a happy new year too. There you go.
Absolutely. Yes. As long as it's not too far. I feel like any day after the 10th of January is too late to wish someone a happy new year. Is that right? Or is that not right?
Or is that just a myth that we should smash? Isn't it every day a great day to wish hey, dude, Bentz, happy 2022.
Yes.
I hope this year kicks ass for you.
And with 9 days to go, now I'm encouraged. I'm gonna hustle.
I hope these next 9 days are like the best 9 days of this year for you.
Even someone who is prone to procrastination with 9 days left in the year, if you're waiting now to make it, probably waited a little bit too long. So you might want to.
There's still hope.
There is.
But actually, by the time this comes out, there's no more hope for 2022.
Not for 2022.
But 2023, now there's a thing. And actually, I have quite the question to ask you about this.
Yes, sir.
It's a bit of a hypothetical question for you.
Yeah.
Because see, I may or may not have a time machine here in New Hampshire. So you come visit, and we get some beer, some lobster, and you get to use the time machine. Sweet. And it goes back in time. It's a certain peculiar kind of time machine. It goes back and you get to see yourself. You get to visit yourself 4 or 5 days after graduating from West Virginia. And you get to talk to yourself and you can tell yourself anything you want. What would you say? What kind of things would you tell younger you, and with advice, recommendations? What would you tell yourself?
That would have been a weird day because it would have been my 5th day. It would have been the end of my first week employed at the luxury resort that I was working at the time. Wow. So 5 days in.
Yeah.
Oh, geez. You stumped me here a little bit. I hate dead air.
No, dead air is fine, man. It's actually very dramatic to have dead air. We just brought some drama to the show.
I would don't hold back. So, and stay humble. Be humble. And I think those are probably, looking back on it, those are probably, if you, as a marketer, if you leave things on the table, then you're probably potentially leaving prospects on the table. And if you're also not staying humble, staying teachable, you're going to find yourself in a spot where you're going to find yourself in a bad spot.
Right.
I mean, like you are not, even though there are many of us that are put in positions where we have to be a marketing department of one, we are not, none of us are specialists in every medium. And so you have to be, and that's actually a lesson. That was a hard pill I had to swallow.
Yeah.
It was actually a lesson that I had to learn. This is going back several years, but I had tons of ideas for other channels, right? Everybody always has marketing ideas, but I had tons of ideas for other channels that weren't SEO and content marketing or SEO and email marketing. And so when I went to my first in-house marketing job, and I was the marketing department of one, it was kind of like, yeah, I got all these ideas to do all these things. Yeah, I can do social, and I can do this, and I can do that, and I can do this. At some point, you're going to spread yourself too thin.
Yeah.
And you're not going to be able to invest all the effort and all the energy to make all those platforms successful. So you have to pick and choose. You have to play to your strengths. And the other two pieces that I've got related to that, it's probably better to be a T-shaped marketer than and I've heard that term used by some other people, but it's probably better to be a T-shaped marketer, right? To have your core, your trunk specialties, but be able to dabble in some of the other things.
Yeah.
The other piece for that too, and this is actually a quotable that I might botch, but I'm going to borrow it from Dom's president, Justin Seibert. And you need to be generous with the giving and receiving of help. And that one for me has been a lesson that I've had to constantly reteach myself, because I think we all have a tendency sometimes to want to be the superhero.
Right.
And you want to jump all the way back to the little kid. My favorite superhero growing up was Superman. And but you can't be a Superman in real life. There's a reason Superman is a fictional character. So there you go. Thanks for the therapy couch today, by the way.
Yeah, dude. I got you. You said that was Justin? Is that his name? President?
Yeah, Justin Seibert. That's the president of our agency.
You work for Confucius? He's just walking around throwing out knowledge like Sad Guru over here?
We started when the world went home and the pandemic, when the pandemic hit in 2020, he started doing a video series when the world went home. And that be generous with the giving and receiving of help. You're right. I'll be honest. I don't know if that's a Justin Seibert original or if that is something that he heard somewhere and he's now passing along.
It almost doesn't even matter though, right? I mean,
right. It doesn't. Yeah. There's so many anonymous quotes. Nobody knows who started the majority of them, right? But it is, regardless of how big your team is, where you're doing your B2B marketing, there is that, we all kind of have that preposition that this is what I do, and I'm just gonna take it on, and we're gonna go do this. And I have found time and time again, when I put my faith in myself over faith in a team or faith in something bigger, that the results just aren't what you want them to be. They're not what they could be.
Yeah. Sick, dude. Sick. Hey, shout out to Justin.
Yes.
Appreciate the wisdom. Bentz is like passing it along. And Justin, the code word is gingerbread. So if you have taken the time to listen to this amazing guy here that's on your team and his podcast, and you've listened all this entire way, send him a little email, tell him how much you appreciate him, and use the code word gingerbread
at checkout
to receive a happy team member.
I'm interested to see what my social media ads look like after I get an influx of gingerbread messaging.
Well, I look forward to it. So Amazon, Siri, are you listening? Daddy wants some gingerbread. Send it my way.
Awesome.
I only get it once a year, so make it rain. Dude, this is great. Where can people reach out and contact you?
So the LinkedIn is actually the social media platform that I choose to put the most time into. Yeah. So find me on there. As you read earlier, you'll know it's this Jonathan Bentz and not some of the other ones that are also involved in tech and
straight up imposters, all of them.
Well, no, they are not. From what I've read on the internet, they are not straight up imposters. They're just
complete losers. There is only one Jonathan Bentz.
And no, they're just not the one that you're talking to today. Stop. I mean, I know you can see me on the video screen. My head can only fit in so much of this video screen. So if you keep saying stuff like that, it's gonna get too big. But yeah, so you'll know it's me if it says as the title, creator of leads, awareness and traffic. So that's what I specialize in. I'm the agency marketing manager at Direct Online Marketing in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. We're an Inc. 5000 digital marketing agency that helps clients grow online with confidence.
Who are the ideal clients for you in the team?
That's one of the things that we don't want people to hide on their websites, right? So yeah. Let's talk a little bit about that. We specialize with mid-market companies.
Okay.
We have a lot of history working with companies in higher education, manufacturing, healthcare, e-commerce, SaaS and technology. And then those really are the main five. But any growing company that has growth aspirations beyond where they are today, and they want to work with somebody that can get them confidently to that next level or confidently to where they're trying to go. Since 2006, we've been that agency for companies all over the world.
Hell yeah. Mic drop. Let's go. Jonathan Bentz, you are a gentleman and a scholar, and you wield the Thor's hammer with grace, dignity, and aggression. Thank you so much for coming on here, schooling me up, and just getting my mind straight about what's important, what's not, smashing everything else. I really appreciate it.
Absolutely, man. Thank you so much for the time today. And I look forward to just what this beginning. I appreciate you having me on, and I look forward to this being the beginning of us doing stuff together.
Definitely. For those listening, if you learned something, and I freaking know you did, because I literally have run out of space. Too many notes over here. I can't wait to execute on some of these action items I've written down. And if you've got some like I do, then definitely share this episode with someone else. Be a thought leader to one person, 9 people, 3,000 people, whatever the number is. That is thought leadership. Get good information in other people's hands. And with that, Bentz, you're the man. Thank you again.
Thanks for having me on, Casey. Take care.
All right, guys. This has been another crazy cool, exciting, gingerbready episode of the Hardcore Marketing Show. We will see you all next time.